Welcome everyone to Jamaica 411. How are you all doing today? It's great having you. Great having you. Now, I have something for you today. I have a little tidbit, and I know you all know the little nursery song we used to sing at school. Oh, I don't know if I'm doing it anymore. Certainly in my days. Yes, we're rowing our boats gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. I saw the song go. So it's the first me really sing it. Yes, for a long time. Anyway, my folks, if you hear my voice sounding like it have a little frog in it, it is because it's after 6 in the morning. Yes, it's the first me doing a video so early. I never usually do a video so early because I know my voice sound a little different than when it start to warm up and get hot during the day. Yes. So this is what my voice sound like after a good night's sleep. I had some dreams, not that I remember it. And it's being disused after so many hours during the night, yes. But you're not come here to hear me talking about my croaky voice. No, you want to hear what the dickens we're rowing we both going. Well, apparently more soundings drop. Mayor caught on recording, and I don't know what is wrong with these people. Why do you open your mouth and say certain things on phone when you don't know who may be listening and you don't know who may be recording? Phones can also be open for more than one person to hear, and therefore witnesses to bear against what it is you're saying. Right? Now, I did a piece about corruption and what the effects corruption has on the mind. And evidently, this is what happens to people over time. They no longer understand and know and can tell the difference between what is wrong and what is right, especially if they have been practicing something for quite a while. At first, they may know that it isn't right, but then again, they are told that everybody do it, man, everybody do it. And so it influences their behavior, right? If everybody is doing it, I mean, it doesn't sound right to me, but everybody is doing it, and everybody accepts it, and everybody is expecting it to continue. And so you have to make up your mind and rationalize the whole thing and tell yourself something that will ease your conscience into thinking that the thing that you're about to do, which is wrong, well, in this circumstance, it could be right. And by doing so, you end up corrupting your consciousness. I understand Norman Manley said so, but I have not been able to find the quote itself and what it is he was talking about. But this is an example of what may be happening to Swaby, who seems as if he's a good guy, seems as if he's a nice fellow. And if what Karen Cross says about him sharing the money between the two sides, that is a good thing. However, when it comes to the matter of putting public funds into the hands of caretakers, that's a very different matter. The law states who must handle public funds. If the law states that the parish council and the administration of the parish council must handle those public funds, it should not be going into the hands of councillors. If it says it should be handled by councillors, it should not be going into the hands of caretakers. One of these days, I'm going to go through the Local Governance Act 2016 with you. But in the meantime, let Cliff Hughes put forward his views on this matter.
Now, yesterday, there was another development in this KSAMC PNP misuse of funds for political campaign. The Mayor of Kingston, at the monthly general meeting of the corporation yesterday, addressed the issue for the second time. On the 31st of January, he had issued his statement. Yesterday, he told the councillors that $2.7 million were allocated to each municipal division without elected councillors. That allocation was made during the Christmas period. And of course, the mayor denied once again the charges, the allegations that funds from the KSAMC were distributed to PNP political representatives last December.
1.5 million provided by the KSAMC and 1.2 from the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. The mayor and the deputy mayor receive an additional 300,000 and 100,000 respectively from the ministry for their allied divisions. Given my fiduciary responsibility for these three divisions without councillor, I was trusted with managing these funds. While I was under no obligation to engage respective Jamaica Labour Party members of Parliament, I made a deliberate decision to do so in the interest of transparency.
The mayor also said yesterday that the funds that were distributed to PNP unelected representatives were not from the KSAC, but were privately raised funds. Privately raised. They were not funds from any public body or source.
So let us pause here for a moment because I may have some information as to whether the information I have relates to what actually happened. I do not know yet, but I'm thinking about it. Now, with respect to this money that he said was raised from private source, and this idea that there is a discretionary fund, I have been searching for the laws which gave powers for the creation of a discretionary fund by the mayor for 2 days now, and it is one of the most elusive laws. I've been searching for the bylaws, and them kind of scarce to find too. But I will continue to search. Nonetheless, let's give them all the benefit of the doubt that there's a discretionary fund and it's all legal, and it would have to be legal for that to happen because the public servants will not do any work unless it has force in law. Yes. So, my understanding that there is a source of funding for the mayor in Kingston and St. Andrew. I've been able to confirm that, and it's very possible that this has been going on, perhaps even from the English were here. And I would not be surprised if it's also existing in other parish councils, or what they call nowadays municipal corporations. And this fund is a fund that you can donate into. And I'm not quite sure if this is what they're referring to as a discretionary fund. I should not think so. That discretionary fund thing sound as if it's discretionary with regards to the allocation and use of the funds that are collected by the municipal corporations and those that are given to the municipal corporations by the Ministry of Local Government. Nonetheless, in the KSAC, there is a separate fund. That fund is the mayor's fund. It is managed by the mayor from the mayor's office. Nothing whatsoever to do with the parish council. Nothing whatsoever to do with taxpayers' money. That fund is not commingled or mix up with the parish council money. It's in a separate account, right, from the parish council's account. And the parish council and the Minister of Local Government has no control over that account because it's not public money. You follow? Yes. So that fund now is where persons may donate to it, private people may decide that they might want to make a donation to that fund, which now allows the mayor to have all sorts of treats for the citizenry in the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation. So, for example, I may want to donate, say, $10,000. I might see the mayor somewhere and him talking about some pro and say, you know what, I like to contribute. Can I contribute? And him say, yes, man. And we call down there and get Audrey or whichever one of the young ladies, and they will tell us how to make the deposit, right? Give us the account number, we make the deposit, and whatever we say that the money should do, if we have a particular project that we want, we might say, for example, how about feeding the street people? Well, if that is done by the poor relief, then that money will actually be sent over to them, right? But if you just want to make a donation and you decide what you're going to do with it, that goes into his fund, and he may decide, okay, I want to spend it this way this year. Might want to, there are several old people who may need glasses in the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, can't afford it. He may decide to put that fund aside for them. He can do anything he wants with that money. That is not taxpayers' money, not taxpayers' money at all. Now, the question is, even though this is not taxpayers' money, should that account be audited? Should the mayor give account? In other words, should he be keeping a record of what money is received and what money is spent and what the balance is? I'm sure it does, as a matter of accounting. And even if this source of funding, this money, does not fall under the remit of the Auditor General, it may fall under the remit of whatever laws govern charity, because then it will be charity, right? And he would have to keep accounts accordingly, I should think. So there is this money that's there, separate and apart, as I said, from the parish council money. Now, here's the thing. Even as much as the mayor may have that money at his disposal, the persons who would have donated the money to the mayor's fund would have done so with an expectation that the money is to be used in a particular way. The operations of the parish council and the operations of any fund that goes into the parish council, whether for the mayor's discretion or whether for the council itself to carry out the services that is stipulated by law, those funds are expected to be used for the benefit of the communities and, in some instances, for individuals in the communities. In other words, neither the mayor nor anybody else in the council or the council committees can expend money in another parish. There's a limitation. You follow? Yes. All of what they are intending or expected to spend the money on must be within the confines of their own parish and for those persons, right? So there is no anticipation or expectation by anybody, and the law does not permit it, that any of the funds, whether collected by the parish councils or the mayor for his funds, none of that is to be used for political purposes. It is not supposed to be used to give an advantage to one side as opposed to the other side. It's not supposed to be used to favor one community against some other community because you want to shore up the votes in that community, right? Everybody paying taxes, and they should be treated equally according to the needs of the community. Now, when it comes to the matter of persons who are not working with the parish council or having a contract with the parish council to do works, handling public funds. That is a no-no. And the mayor may have to pay it back, or whichever council spent that money will have to pay it back under the law. When it comes, though, to the matter of the mayor's fund, that special fund, where persons can contribute to that fund for general use in the communities, and the mayor is left to make that decision as to how he wants to spend it. When it comes to that fund, the mayor is under no obligation to spend that money with anybody employed to the parish council, a councillor, or any particular person. He may decide how that money is being spent. That's private money. Now, my understanding is the mayor is suggesting that the money that Lawrence Rowe received and the other persons who are not employed to the parish council, the PNP caretaker candidates, to the extent that money was sent to them, he is saying that that money now came from efforts that were made by the party to raise funds for that purpose. Now the question is, if that is the case, what was the money doing at the parish council? Why did the party not distribute that money from the headquarters to its candidates for them to spend in these various areas that do not have PNP councillors? That is very strange, and it needs further explanation by the mayor, for sure. So yes, if that money that was given to Lawrence Rowe and others, other caretakers, were money coming from that fund, it is not public money, and therefore the mayor can distribute that money to them if he wanted to. And the fact that Lawrence was told that he can spend the money in whichever way he thinks fit would suggest that maybe indeed that money came from such a fund. The part, though, that says that he shouldn't tell anybody now, that needs further explanation from the mayor, in my view. But that is my 2 pence worth where that is concerned. So having given you that information that indeed there is a fund that private people can donate into. For me, though, if the mayor is going to be stating that the fund came from that source, it is my view that he ought to give us some more information. For example, how much money is in that fund prior to the distribution? How much money was collected? How much was distributed? Where it was distributed to? And how much is left? The mayor will tell you, well, that's probably none of our business. But since we hired the mayor and put him there as a councillor, and he's doing all this work on council time, it is our business. That is my view. So the mayor can decide what he wants to do. He can leave it hanging and have the laborites and everybody saying that something fishy went on or crooked went on. Or he can give us that additional information, which would help clear up everything. What you all think? You think he should? Tell me in the comment section.
The mayor also said yesterday that the funds that were distributed to PNP unelected representatives were not from the KSAC, but were privately raised funds. Privately raised. They were not funds from any public body or source. He did not say that in his first statement on the matter on January 31. And that is rather strange because the essence of this story, which is why it is making news, is the accusation by the discarded Lawrence Rowe that, listen, public funds from the KSAMC were used in the run-up to Christmas last year in pursuit of supporting the People's National Party representatives on the ground in the corporate area, some of whom were not elected councillors. That is the story, you know. That's what it boils down to, as we would say, whether public funds were used for private political campaign activities. The mayor did not say that on January 31, but he said so yesterday. Yeah? And Mr. Mayor has more questions to answer. Now we hear of this $2.7 million. And we need to get further and better particulars, as Mr. Rowe, in an open letter to the mayor posted on Facebook yesterday afternoon after the council meeting, where Mr. Rowe asked Mayor Swaby, can you provide documented evidence of the approval and disbursement of the $2.7 million allocated to each division? Were formal records or council minutes kept detailing how these funds were distributed and spent? Why were portions of these funds redirected instead of being fully allocated to the members of Parliament and managed by the KSAMC Chief Engineering Officer? According to Rowe, Mayor Swaby needs to say what criteria determined the reallocation of funds to you versus the MPs. What oversight measures ensured these funds were strictly used for community projects? And did the KSAMC Chief Engineering Officer personally approve all expenditures? Can those records be made available? That is Rowe. Yeah? Now, yesterday, another voice note, this time of Mayor Swaby, was leaked to us. Yeah? The voice note has Mayor Swaby in conversation with persons, identified and unidentified, about how he, the mayor, had spoken to several individuals as part of an effort to help his political friends in his bid to ensure that Central Kingston is won by the PNP on election day, and also to protect him, Mayor Swaby, because, as you will hear in the voice note, he is very mindful of the fact that he's a neighbor of Central Kingston. You want us to take the break before? So, the voice note of yesterday, and you heard once again in that voice note, the mayor this time speaking about his efforts to help the PNP on the ground in Central Kingston by directing to its operatives resources. What he didn't say very clearly were whether those resources were coming from the coffers of the KSAMC. Listen to George Davis's report on that.
In the leaked audio to our news center, Swaby uses the word money once, but he uses the phrase gel the thing together and grill up the thing to suggest he has taken deliberate action to help the PNP win in Central Kingston and save his own political skin. Our sources say the audio was recorded on December 31, 2024. Here is what the mayor and the chairman of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, Andrew Swaby, was heard saying about his efforts to prevail upon certain named individuals to reward him later for favors he would do for them now. Listen carefully as Mayor Swaby speaks about his deliberate actions.
I have tried in my way to help to gel the thing together. I talk to Charmian, I talk to Charmian's sister, I talk to other people in the constituency. I want even tell us say if I me go this with the sports team I keep on Angela over 3 days in the rain. And me and Bull and them and I talk. And in a my little way I try and help them. That we can say, boy, if when the time come, me can't, if they don't need me talk to them, I can't talk. Even Christmas, we help them, you know. Even Christmas, we send something to go give them. I mean, do it deliberately so, and I go to the car and say, me want in a position for us, boy, then if I'm a bother, and I can't talk to them.
So who is this bull, Mayor Swaby? Is he the reputed Don from Top Road in Central Kingston? Mayor Swaby goes on to explain to the man he's speaking with that the reason he has taken deliberate action to help certain people in Central Kingston is because he has seen those people act in a certain way when other men gave them money. He then says that both he and Audrey took a deliberate look at how best to help certain individuals in Central Kingston.
Me know the role within the player when other man can come and get them. That's why me that try say, let me talk to them to make sure say we will really thing up, then can say PNP not paying no mind.
Yeah.
So, and everything me do in a man can say me talk, me do me help in the Christmas, we go far and wide. You understand me? Come here, all the sit down, I will look for it like I say, it's a ABC car. We know we target Central Kingston to win. We know that. I mean, I look for the whole run. Me I look for and say, P1 PNP win. And my backside of the door when we have an MP and a Central Kingston. The bar that them come closer to me. They have more than one interest. Why you want Central Kingston? You know?
So the mayor is expressing his desire to win Central Kingston for more than one reason. He has a vested interest, seems to me, to be what he's saying. And what is that? If the Labourites are able to consolidate in Central Kingston, given the fact that this is really a depressed community in some regards, one of those inner city community, then all kind of games can play, and they can slowly but surely take over, dominate in districts coming further and further north. And since Vineyard Town, which is his council seat, is neighboring on Central Kingston, he is saying he's concerned, right, that they may be able to influence persons who are uncommitted in his division to vote Labour Party, which means that could cause the fall of Southeast St. Andrew as well. And so he wants to maintain the PNP hold on Central Kingston. That seems to me to be what he's saying.
We have an MP and a Central Kingston. The bar that them come closer to me. They have more than one interest. Why you want Central Kingston? You know?
Mayor Swaby did not identify the Audrey he referred to in the clip. Who is this Audrey, Mayor? And what role does she play in helping you decide how to allocate resources that come through the KSAMC? Based on how he mentioned her, it would appear as if that Audrey is known to both himself and the man with whom he was having that conversation on December 31 last year. Nationwide News reported earlier that among the allegations made by former PNP caretaker in Central Kingston, Lawrence Rowe, is that a member of Mayor Swaby's administrative staff told him to collect $300,000 cash from the KSAMC. Rowe was told that he was at liberty to spend the cash as he saw fit, but that this gift to him was not for public knowledge. The name of that staff member at the KSAMC who communicated that message to Lawrence Rowe on December 17, 2024, Audrey Smith-Facey. George Davis for Nationwide News.
So for those of you who are wondering, Audrey Smith-Facey, she was the former councillor for the Painland Division in Southwest St. Andrew. So she's experienced. She retired, and then when the PNP won the mayorship for Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, she was hired, I do believe, as an administrative assistant to the mayor. So that's who Audrey is. So she is more than qualified to advise the mayor on what she believes is the best place to spend the money. Of course, this, according to the mayor, seems to me that the expenditure, based on what he's saying, or my interpretation of what he's saying, is that the intention is for them to spend the money in such a way that they will win back Central Kingston for the PNP.
So you heard the mayor, in his own words, outlining the politically important task that he had taken on to help the PNP on the ground by giving them money. Where did these money come from? As he says, were they from privately raised funds, or from the benefits that he had control over as a mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew? He says they raised funds privately. So if they raised funds privately, why were these funds being distributed from the KSAMC? Why not from HQ 89 Old Hope Road? And the community projects, the 2.7 million that he referenced, as Rowe is asking, can he provide the documented evidence of the approval and disbursement of the $2.7 million allocated to each division? What formal records are there to support that? I leave you with this from the mayor.
Me know the role within the player when other man come on and get them. That's why me that try say, let me talk to them to make sure say we will really think up then can say PNP now pay in our mind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So and everything me do in a man can say me talk, me do me help in the Christmas, yeah? Me go far and wide. You understand me? Come here, all the sit down, I will look for it like I'm saying, ABC can. We know we target Central Kingston to win. We know that. I mean, I look for who I run. Me I look for say, do you want PNP win? And my backside of the door when we have an MP and a Central Kingston, the bar that them come closer to me. They have more than one interest. Why you want Central Kingston? You know?
The mayor of the capital city of Kingston.
Mayor Swaby goes on to explain to the man he's speaking with that the reason he has taken deliberate action to help certain people in Central Kingston is because he has seen those people act in a certain way when other men gave them money.
Now that is a very curious statement. They were given money and acted a certain way. What the dickens that means? And if it was money they were given to act a certain way, presumably what the mayor means, that in order for him to get them to act in other ways in which he would like them to act, then presumably he would also have to cough up some money, if money is what makes the mayor gallop. Don't you agree? Yes. Now the question is, where is that money coming from? But before we even reach there, you will recall that he said that he and Audrey sat down and they were making decisions about these places. This is my impression. So they would say, okay, they say them man over this area and then man over that area, and then they collect the money from the labor right them, and then them do certain things. Was that perhaps that they voted for the Labour Party? So if we want them to come back and vote for PNP, we might have to concentrate our efforts in that area. Give them a contract maybe, run a little money upon them maybe, that sort of thing. Of course, I don't know how them plan to out money the labor rights. I wish them luck with that. But on a serious note, we must ask the all-important question now. That money that they plan to throw on those people to get them to behave in the way in which they would want them to behave, where is that money coming from? Clearly the PNP doesn't have it, and Lawrence Rowe seems to be suggesting that the money actually is coming from the council, and therefore it is public money that is being used to defray the expenses of the political party, the PNP. The mayor said, no, it's private money, not council money, that he distributed to these unelected officials, the caretakers for each division and some constituency caretaker me here too, those running for MP, and not public funds. And Lawrence Rowe is saying, okay, well, if that is the case, show us the books. That's more or less what he's saying. And prove that it was not public fund. He's also saying that in the event that you're saying, Mr. Mayor, that the money was in fact raised by the PNP, why is it that the PNP money that they raised, which should be at HQ at 89 Old Hope Road, how it reached down a KSAC to be given out in the parking lot? So we haven't heard what the mayor has to say to that, or Audrey for that matter, but hopefully we'll get some responses. And if they fail to give the responses, then you know what Jamaican people say. Yes, silence means consent. So if they want to leave that impression in the people's mind, especially in circumstances where that Englishman who prims up into the parliament illegally wants to use corruption as his go-to argument to convince people to vote for him and put him in a Jamaica house, let them lick them head, then that is their decision. But in that case, they ought not to seek to blame people for believing, if that is what they do, that the whole damn lot of them are corrupt. Okay, folks, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to give the video a thumbs up if you have not yet done so, and subscribe as well. Also, share this video, and of course, feel free to leave your comments in the comments section. Until next time, take very good care of yourselves and walk good.